Hey there, Alex here. If you're in the market looking for a cheap iPhone, either for yourself or for someone else, it can be a bit tempting to just spring for the base storage model. It could be an older iPhone 6 or a newer iPhone SE, but that would mean living with just 16GB of storage. Or maybe you're still using an older iPhone, waiting for an upgrade, or you got the phone as a gift, so you're pretty much stuck with what you have. I normally wouldn't recommend a 16GB iPhone, but sometimes we don't really have a choice. So today let's talk about how to deal with it. Before we dive in, the thing you need to know is that you're not really getting 16GB. Due to the way memory is being reported and some of the memory being taken up by the operating system and the default apps on the phone, what you're getting is more like 11 to 12GB of storage. So let's start with my first tip, only the essentials. You don't need to bring an entire media collection with you, just enough for your day-to-day usage. The same goes for apps too. Delete anything that you don't use that frequently. You can even consider just adding a bookmark for it instead of installing the app. While the app itself might not take up that much space, some apps will cache data on the phone which tends to build up over time. If you need games on the phone, get the ones that doesn't use up too much storage. Bigger titles like Need for Speed No Limits can easily take up over a gigabyte of space on the phone. Unfortunately, this is just something that you might have to live with. Which brings us into my second tip, housekeeping. So how do you clear all those cache data to free up some space? Unfortunately for now, the only way is to delete the app and then reinstall it again. I suggest deleting the apps from the settings page because when you do it there, when you reinstall the app, it goes back into the same position on your home screen. The next thing you want to do is go into your Photos app and delete whatever you don't need. And empty the trash after you're sure that you don't need anything in there anymore. If you're a heavier user, you're going to have to get used to doing this a lot for other applications too, like WhatsApp or other messaging clients. For the Messages app, if you don't want to go through the hassle of doing it manually, you can simply set message history to store only 30 days of messages rather than everything. Restarting the phone every now and then helps too. Some of the files will only be cleared with a restart of the phone, so if you delete something and you don't see the available storage going up, it could just need a restart. The other thing that you can make use of would be third-party services, which is my third tip, useful apps. For photos and media files, if you don't want to pay Apple for more iCloud storage, you can always go for Google Photos. It has automatic backup and can even help you to clean up your storage. Full resolution images will count against your Google Drive storage, but the high resolution options which compresses the image slightly allows for unlimited uploads. If you want to, you can even limit the cache of the app so that you don't have to clean the cache that often. The same goes for documents or even your media needs. Cloud storage options like Google Drive provides a convenient way to access large amount of documents without the need to store them on your phone. For music and video content, you can subscribe to services like Spotify or Netflix to stream your content rather than store them locally. Be sure to check with your carrier to see whether they have any partnership with these services. Like Syntel Music, for example, allows for premium Spotify streaming with no data charges. The fourth tip I have is basically limiting the camera. If you have an iPhone 6s or iPhone SE, the ability to capture live photo, 4K video recording, slow motion videos might be nice, but you'll quickly use up your storage on the phone. So be sure to turn off live photos, just keep to 1080p recording. Or if you're really in a pinch, 720p works too. If you really can't live with 16GB or don't want to go through the hassle of having to clean up the phone every now and then, this last tip is for you. Upgrade. Sell what you have now, pay a little bit more and get the high capacity models. In Singapore, it's not really that hard to buy and sell used phones. If you find yourself struggling even with the tips above, then 16GB is simply not enough for your usage. For most people, I will highly recommend getting the higher capacity models all the time. Unless you're really sure you don't need the extra storage or don't mind having to manage the storage on the phone all the time. You also have to keep in mind that as time goes on, the size of apps will probably get bigger and bigger. The same goes for the operating system too as you get more and more features on the phone. So having that extra storage is going to come in pretty handy in the future. Hopefully this video has been useful for you guys. If you have any more tips to share, please share them in the comments below. If you liked the video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks and see you guys on the next one.